What is the role of creativity in the workplace? In a recent Time magazine survey, they asked what characteristics people valued in their colleagues. Top of the list was creativity, quickly followed by intelligence and compassion. Yet many people find it hard to be creative in a work environment. So let's look at today why it's important to be creative, how to be creative, and most importantly, how to encourage creativity in those around you. Okay, number one, why is it important to be creative at work? Here are a couple of good quotes that I think really sum up why creativity is so important. The first comes from the late Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple. Steve Jobs said creativity is just connecting things. Scott Adam, the Dilbert person who we all know and love, said it's allowing yourself to make mistakes. Look, both of these are really important, but just as important it is to do new things at work. The problem for many is that doing new things often goes against an organization's culture where repetition is seen as valued. There's a risk to any individual who has new ideas and suggestions. However, there's a much bigger risk for the organization itself if they don't take any risks. And it can be hard to think outside the box, as people say, but it can be harder still to get people to listen to you when you do. Okay, so how do you be creative? Think of creativity really as a muscle. You need to work it to make it strong. If you don't work it, then at some point, like your muscles in your body, they atrophy. So you need to take your creativity out for a good workout. To start with, you have to declare that you want people to be creative and that you are willing to reward that creativity in them. Give examples of what you want, but lead by example. You have to ask questions like, is there another way? What else would work? Think of open questions that prompt. And when you get suggestions, don't just dismiss them out of hand because you think they're stupid. Discuss them. Avoid, we've tried that before. There's always another way to do something. Take time in meetings to think more broadly. Create the space to think within the meeting, and don't just run your agendas back to back with no space for that sort of thinking. Okay, number three, how do you encourage it in others? Really the most important thing you can do is reward others when they're creative. Whether the idea was a good idea or a bad idea, whether it worked or it didn't work, recognize the attempt to be creative and to think new. If people are scared to show their creativity, think about how to do it anonymously. Many companies have suggestion boxes where people don't have to give their name. But the reality is you want to see their behavior and really reward it. Another key element is to create diverse groups of people. People don't think alike if they're from different groups. Now that's going to be uncomfortable for some, but so will groupthink be uncomfortable. And groupthinks kill many really good ideas. So you need to be open, you need to reward, and you need to find a space for people to be creative. The bottom line is this: the most creative organizations are often the most successful ones, and they help their teams think outside the box. And maybe the most important thing you can do is let them do that.